Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our weekly discussion. Here with Matt again.
Yep. Hi again, people.
So, okay, Matt. So, what happened this week?
So most important thing is Yuri Hara's Bankai, but that's Bleach, so gotta go over back to One Piece.
Yes, this is a One Piece podcast, and this week was pretty much entirely about Momonosuke.
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, like I see how it was all important to make it seem like Luffy recognized him as an adult, but I'm still thinking like I feel like that wasn't really needed, you know?
I wasn't expecting, for his, well, I mean, I guess I'll talk about it later. Let's go chronologically throughout the chapter, shall we?
Okay.
So, I guess, what was the first thing? I guess Robin bringing up Rayleigh was kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting, like, a mini flashback there. That was on, like, the first page.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so the whole thing about Secret of the World and how they learned it. Because, like we said, that's how they were able to read the poneglyphs and stuff.
And now we know why everybody up to this point has been going after them. You were right. It's information. Everybody assumes that they have, the secrets of the world because their clan leader had been to Raftel and, talked to Gold Roger.
The secrets of the world.
Yeah.
But he just didn't tell them.
But everybody assumes that he did.
Yep.
But now we know after seeing what happened with, like, Jack and the Minx, we know, even if they did know, there's no way in hell they'd tell anybody.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but then the whole thing about Luffy refusing to join.
Yeah.
Like, because he wanted like an 8-year-old kid to ask him and stuff. I'm like that.
Well, I think it's it makes sense because it's like they said, everybody is saying that Momonosuke is like their leader, right?
Yeah.
And they're all treating him differently. And so is Luffy's treating him differently than like you would expect. But at the same time, it's funny how he's the only one who truly like sees him as a leader.
Yeah. I mean, I see how that's important, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, but he is only 8 years old. He shouldn't be seen as the leader yet, in my mind. You know?
He's been through some shit, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, he should be able to make, like, final decisions and stuff, but, like, if he, like, because you can tell that he is, like, responsible and wants these things to go, like, the way he's, like, making good decisions, so he should be able to make final decisions, but he's still, only 8 years old.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to find out that his mother had also died to Kaido. How do you think she died? Because, like, I doubt she was also boiled alive, because that was just, like, because they did that because of his name, right? So, that's a terrible way to go, but what do you think happened to his mother?
Probably just died protecting, them. I feel like it wasn't, like, anything too special, you know?
How do you think they escaped? That's what I've been wondering.
I feel like it has something to do with how his mom died.
Maybe.
Like...
Sort of like how Corazon was with Law.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Or maybe, Raizo, since he's a ninja, maybe he helped him.
Yeah.
I absolutely, by far...
Wait, why did they have to go to, like, Caesar's Island and, these other places again?
They said it was because they were looking for strong fighters to help them.
But why would they go to places where...
Well, don't you remember they said that when they very first met, what's his name? Kinemon, on Punk Hazard, they said that they were on their way to Zoe. Well, he didn't say that then, but we found out later they were on their way to Zoe. But he said he had split up from his friends when they were on their journey, and then later we found out that their journey was on their way to Zoe. So we met them, I guess, relatively soon after that whole thing happened, right? Because how long ago do you think it was that all this happened with Kaido?
I feel like it wasn't actually that long ago.
But I don't know. See, I feel like maybe because the way that this chapter explains it, it seems almost like it was immediately before Luffy's crew met up with them. But I don't think it was that soon. Like I feel
it wasn't like immediately. I feel like it was at least like months.
Because from what they said at the end of the chapter about how they were on their way to Zoe to find it's just form an alliance basically to fight Kaido. Well, if they were on their way to Zoe immediately after all this happened, and then that's when they got split up because of Doflamingo or whatever it was that split them up. I don't remember exactly the details, but if that's what split them up, and then that's when Luffy met, then it was like it couldn't have been that long before Luffy met up with them.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
But see, that kind of confused me, because I thought it was, like, when Momo was way younger that this happened.
I mean, I don't think it was when he was way younger. It wasn't, like, I don't think it was that... Yeah, I think it wasn't that long ago. You know?
I love how Law is throughout the whole chapter, where he's like, stop making decisions without me. And he's just basically, like, face-palming the entire chapter, but not.
Well, that's how everyone has to be around Luffy. You know?
Yeah.
How can you be any way other than that?
Like whenever he's explaining that they needed 4 road poneglyphs to get the Raftel, and Luffy's like, "There's 4 Raftels?"
Well, it says the equal distance between the 4. Because you said you said something about if you had 3, you can figure it out. Not really, because the distance between 3 of them would be in between the 3, but if you had a 4th, it's not necessarily the same, because one of them could be closer to the other. It's not like
I think it would take you a long time, but I do think you could figure it out. If you were strong enough to get the 3 poneglyphs, I'm sure you would be able to figure it out. Like, if you made it that far.
I'm not completely sure. It's not, when you first explained it, now I'm thinking about it again, I'm like, it would be, really, really hard. Because there's so much distance that it could be.
I love how, whenever we talked about it last week with the road poneglyphs, you had said something about Buggy, and then after we did the podcast and I went online and was watching videos, all the most popular theories, funny theories and most popular ones, are that the last road poneglyph has something to do with Captain John's treasure and Buggy. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, wow. Everybody's got the same train of thought going.
Yeah, but then I no longer think that the whole thing about what I was saying with the Revolutionary Army, because the whole thing Robin was there for the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. I hadn't thought about it either, but yeah, if you're right, if Dragon had the poneglyph, then obviously when Robin was there, they would have showed it to her and asked her hey, can you read this for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hadn't thought about that until later.
Yeah, but when I first saw the thing about the 3, it's just you could. But now that I think about it, the 4th one could be literally anywhere.
There's so many places it could be.
So it's not it would be so much distance that it could be with those, you know.
I'm curious how Mary Jo is going to work into it. Do you think the last road poneglyph is... See, what I'm thinking is that either the last road poneglyph is going to be on Mary Jo, or Mary Jo is going to be the place where all of the 4 of them intersect. And, somehow they're, guarding the secret to how to get into Raftel.
So... What is Mary?
That's the place where Doflamingo's family was from and left.
Oh.
Like the Holy Land.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know,
Yeah.
what do you think? Because that's a popular theory, too, is that the last one's going to be there.
I'm not so sure.
I'd much rather Buggy have it.
Yeah.
Or find it. Imagine the look on Luffy's face if we found out that Captain John's treasure somehow included the last poneglyph that they need. Imagine the look on Luffy's face, because if you remember back in Impel Down, when Luffy had that armband...
I feel like he wouldn't even remember that, Luffy.
I don't know, he has a pretty good memory when it comes to the One Piece.
Yeah, but I feel like he wouldn't remember that, because, like, just one of the things that he would forget, you know?
I think he would...
In my mind.
But if he, like... I don't know, maybe. I just think that if somebody had said to him, like, we needed a map to Captain John's treasure to find it or something, he would remember. Because that's what he gave to Buggy. You remember, he saw the, like, armband on him, and he's like, oh, that's a map to Captain John's treasure. I need to find a way to sneakily make Luffy give it to me, and Luffy's like, oh, you want this? You can have it if you help me. And he just immediately gives it to him without, like, he's like, well, I mean, you already agreed to help me, so I might as well just give it to you now.
Yep.
I absolutely love the name of their new alliance. The Ninja Pirate Mink Alliance.
Yes.
And then they're like, why do we need the ninja? We need the ninja.
Oh, and then, like, the very last 2 pages.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna kill the elephant.
Dude, I did not see that coming.
Oh, neither did I.
So, I'm confused about something. Did they go back to Kaido or not? It's like they didn't, right?
Yeah, I really wasn't sure what happened.
Because, we know that Jack got captured by... This is something we haven't talked about, which I'm surprised we completely glossed over this. I guess neither of us were thinking about it, but, Jack actually got captured by, what's her face? That really, really old marine lady. Suru.
Yeah.
And there were 4 warships that, basically he took out, right? But he eventually got captured. And that's the reason he's injured, right? And because he fought, the Minks. But we just completely glossed over the fact that, like, he escaped from those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, see, my thought was that he was going to go report to Kaido that Raizo wasn't there.
Yeah, that's all. That is what I thought also.
But from what they were saying, it sounds like they never went back to him.
Yeah.
And also, he's blaming Sheepshead, which kind of confused me, because, like, he was there too, right? So, because he was fighting Nekomamushi and Inuarashi. So Jack was also there. So that, like, I was just kind of confused by all that at the end.
Yeah, this last 2 pages, the only thing that, because everything else I was literally just had no idea why they were talking about it. Just the only thing that stuck out to me, really, because it was all didn't make sense, was I'll just kill this huge elephant.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how he's going to do that. Or at least attempt to.
In this world, I don't think it would be too hard to find a way to kill it,
Yeah. Well, we know he has, like, a mammoth fruit, right?
Yeah.
Do you think his fully sized mammoth fruit might be the same size as the elephant? I feel like it wouldn't be.
Oh, definitely not.
But, you never know. Like, Chopper has the rumble balls that when he takes the 3 of them, it turns into, like, his gigantic form.
Yeah.
I would say that gigantic
but even that
Chopper...
is no... But that's still not, like, a size of an island.
Well, you didn't let me finish. I was going to say, I think that gigantic Chopper would be about the size of one of Zunisha's legs. What do you think?
The Zunisha, is that the elephant?
Yeah.
No. Definitely not.
You don't think so? I mean, his
No.
legs are really long. Maybe his trunk, then. How about that?
One sec. I'm gonna look up a picture.
Like, Giant Chopper's pretty damn big. He's bigger than Kaido.
But one sec. Okay, so look up an image of Giant Chopper. Okay, and you can see like him holding things in his hands, just like he is big, but he's. And then look up Zoe, just like Zoe One Piece, like compare it to the size of the ship and like the size of the huge city on it and everything on his back.
Oh yeah, you're right. He is smaller than I thought he was. I'd say he's about the same size as Kaido then, actually.
Yeah.
Looking at these pictures.
But yeah, so he's nowhere near the size of like the Tusk or anything. He's like just nowhere near the.
I was just thinking back to the first time we ever saw him back on like Enies Lobby.
Yeah.
Because he like towered over the entire island.
But he wasn't like anywhere near as big as the building they were in. He was like a height of the floors were huge in height. Like I look Giant Chopper One Piece, the third picture. He's not towering over everything, really. I mean, he is giant, but he's not like.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I think he's about the same size as Kaido.
Yeah, that could work. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to Jack, what do you think his power is? Because like we know he's incredibly strong. We know he has the mammoth fruit power, but like what do you think it is that makes him as strong as he is?
Well, basically, the mammoth fruit. I mean, like that's just like a power. That's just like pure power. It seems like he'd have, you know.
Yeah, I guess that basically is like a tank mode fruit.
Yeah. Just like be able to take so many hits and just deal so much damage.
I like how for the past like month, Luffy's just been like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna go get Sanji now," and he's still there.
Yeah, because other things are happening, and he's just like.
But with the way this chapter ends, I'm very curious to see like what's gonna happen because my guess is that Luffy's going to go to Whole Cake Island and leave Zoro to fight Jack. At least, like that's what I think, right? Because I feel like Zoro hasn't really had an all-out fight ever since they got to the New World. Like thinking back on it, what all has Zoro really had to do? Like we've seen him fight the Kraken, Hordy Jones underwater, and Pika. But like in none of those fights did he have to go all out,
Yeah.
So I think that if he fought Jack like one-on-one, it might be a pretty epic fight. And we might actually get to see some of his powers. And then it would be a nice parallel to like then Luffy going to get Sanji and then seeing Sanji like shine on Whole Cake Island. But now there's one thing I'm curious about is that if like Luffy keeps saying he wants to go save Sanji alone, right? And he just wants to sneak in and grab Sanji and leave. But now we know that Big Mom has a road poneglyph, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, well, he needs Robin to read it. So either he's gonna have to take Robin, or he's gonna have to leave with the poneglyph. Because Luffy isn't gonna take the Fish Prince, he's gonna take the poneglyph. Like, that's just how he is. I don't know. What do you think's gonna happen?
Well, like I said, like I think it was last week. He's not going to take. It's like something's going to happen, and he's going to have to take the whole pony and he's gonna be so excited that he gets to take the whole thing instead of...
Do you think that any of his crewmates are going to join him in going to Whole Cake Island, or do you think he really is going to go just with Peckham's?
I feel like someone else has to go also.
I know, right? Like, it just seems like the way... Like, I don't know. But see, it seems like somebody has to go, right? But they all respect his orders, and if he ordered them to stay there, they would. You know? And I don't see that... Like, I wouldn't put it past him to order them to all stay there and fight off Jack. And so, like, I could see him saying, "Oh snap, Jack's coming back. You guys stay here, fight Jack, and if Kaido shows up, fight him off too. I'll be right back with Sanji." Yeah. You know, like, I could see that happening. And then, what I think would happen if that happened would be that he would go to Whole Cake Island with Peckham's, and then that's when he would meet up with Jinbei. And then he would come back to Zoe, I guess, with Jinbei and Peckham's and Sanji. Well, maybe not Peckham's. We don't really know what Peckham's deal is going to be. He might still be loyal to Big Mom, for all we know. By far my favorite part of the chapter was whenever Zoro's like, "Just so we're clear, I'm worth 2,000 men." Because Luffy is like, "Sanji's worth 1,000 men, so I gotta go get him back." And Zoro's like, "I'm worth 2,000 though, right?" And Nami's just like,
yeah, that was amazing.
That was by far the best part. And Nami's just like patting him on the head. "Sure you are."
I agree, he is worth 2,000 if Sanji's worth 1,000. But I say they're both worth more than 2,000.
I don't know, I think Sanji's worth more to Luffy because he's the cook.
Well, I follow a Tumblr called Zoro Bay, and he basically convinced me that Zoro's worth more to Luffy. I'm not like that.
Zoro's strong. I mean, the thing is, Sanji gets a bad rap. Like, I feel bad for Sanji, because, like, to be able to hold off swords with your foot, like, that's pretty freaking impressive. I still like Zoro better, but, like, I don't know. They're evenly matched in strength. I just think that Zoro can do...
I don't even think they're evenly matched in strength. I think Zoro is a lot stronger.
I think that Zoro's arms are as strong as Sanji's legs.
Okay.
What do you think? You think his arms are stronger?
I think they're equally strong, but I think Zoro's just also more, like, useful and can beat more people.
Yeah, I do think that Zoro could beat stronger opponents than Sanji.
Yeah, that's what I'm more getting at. It's, like, not, like, the physical strength level, but, like, the skill and strength combined level, everything, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I like Zoro's personality better. Yeah, ever since they made Sanji, like, even more into women after the time skip because of all the time he spent on the one
I didn't like that.
Yeah,
it was way too much.
I understand it's, like, for comedic effect, but, like, throughout the entire Fishman Island arc, he's, like, dying.
Yeah, it was just not good.
Speaking of which, you know, I never really noticed the foreshadowing they did with his blood type. Like, whenever he was bleeding out on Fishman Island from his nose, Chopper was saying he has an extremely rare blood type that's, like, apparently, like, a royal blood type. And I just never even realized. Like, I never even gave it a second thought.
Yeah, I didn't think of it either until just now when you said that. Now that's pretty awesome.
There's, like, so much foreshadowing that went into this. It's ridiculous. So what do you think's going to happen with Buggy? Anything? Because we know Buggy's going to come back at some point, because we got a little peek into him, like, I don't even know, it's like, what, 50 chapters ago, something like that? Remember? We saw him for the first time since after the time skip.
Yeah. Wait. Huh?
Remember we saw Buggy for the first time since after the time skip, like 50 chapters ago or something?
Yeah.
Well, we know he's coming back relatively soon, right?
Well,
so what do you think is going to happen with Buggy, if anything?
feel like it's got to be like one of the wars. It's like whenever there's gonna be a big war kind of thing, he's gonna show up and somehow end up taking all the credit for everything
and become an emperor.
Yeah.
And somehow, at some point, he has to weasel his way into accidentally becoming an emperor.
Oh yeah.
It just has to
Whoever
happen.
they take down first, he's gonna become the replacement.
One thing I'm curious about is what's gonna happen with Big Mom? Because another thing I wasn't expecting in this chapter, Luffy says flat out, "I'm not interested in fighting Big Mom," which I found kind of surprising because I thought he wanted to beat all the emperors like in a fight. Like I thought that was one of his goals was to beat all the emperors in a fight so that he could prove that he was strongest.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I can't really remember.
Cause what is it he says? Where is it?
I feel like you pick up on so much more stuff in One Piece than I do.
Well, I also like read a lot about like different people's theories and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the one who links me all the theories that you find and stuff. So all the theories I know have been stuff that you've linked to me, so
Yeah. Inuarashi says to Luffy, "Is that so? That's reassuring. Will you be okay? You'll be going up against the Yonko." And Luffy says, "It's not like I'm gonna fight her. I'll be fine. I'll go with Peko Mamushi." And so, I guess maybe he's just thinking he's gonna go in and rescue Sanji and then fight her later? But, like, I thought he had said at one point that he wanted to beat all the four emperors. Like, am I imagining things? Did he not say that?
I think he did say something like that, now that I think about it. I mean, it wasn't like specifically saying he's gonna go to fight them all, but like, I feel like him saying that he'd like being excited when someone brought up the idea of fighting them.
Yeah. But I can see somehow them working it out so that Big Mom ended up working with Luffy.
Yeah, I could see that.
That wouldn't be.
Thanks to
Peckham's.
Yeah, I always forget his name. And the whole just Sanji thing and everything, just like somehow Big Mom's gonna.
What do you think's gonna happen with the? Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, that was basically it. I was just gonna like say two more words that were the same thing as the last two words, basically.
What do you think's gonna happen with the candy or the bomb disguised as a candy that's like being a present?
I think Big Mom's just literally gonna eat it and not notice that it explodes.
Just that would be pretty funny. She's just fucking like eats it, and then you see like smoke come out of her mouth, and she's like, "That was the worst candy I've ever had."
Or like really liked it for some reason.
That would prove how powerful she was. Like, imagine, I can't remember who it was that said, I'm pretty sure it was one of the fishmen that did that. But, like, imagine they're there at the wedding, and they're like, "This is it, this is our chance," and then it just blows up in her mouth, and she's totally fine. Like, imagine the look on that guy's face. Like, well, we're fucked. I don't know, man. I think, like, I doubt they would underestimate a Yonko's power, right? Because, like,
yeah,
I feel like if they were gonna plant a bomb and they thought, well, if this is for a Yonko, it's gonna have to be a pretty devastating bomb, don't you think? Because, like, They know how powerful she is. Because she's been controlling them ever since Whitebeard left, and everybody knew how powerful Whitebeard was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we know that Luffy's gonna fight Big Mom, now that I say that, because back in Fishman Island he said he would. Because, he found out that she had taken over Fishman Island, and he's like, well, I'll just take it from her. So we know that he has to fight her at some point. Or at least come to terms with her.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see a fight, but then again, I'm not sure.
Do you think that the poneglyph Jinbei found might be a road poneglyph? the lost one?
I don't think it is.
I feel like out of all the places it could possibly be, that's probably the least likely one. But
Yeah.
it might be. Like, I don't know. I feel like they would have said something, though, if it was.
Yeah.
Plus, to build it up so much, being like, oh, there's only one that we don't know where it is, and then immediately it's just delivered to him, it would be kind of, like, anticlimactic, It's like, oh, well, that was easy. Thanks, Jinbei.
Yeah. It just can't be. I mean, I feel like there's something important about the one that he's bringing. It's going to end up being something really important, but it's definitely not the red one.
Yeah, I do think that there is, something to it, like...
Because, like, the red ones lead you to a map. Maybe there's, like, another one, like a third type, that, like, actually have some of the history in it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
But then again, all the history probably just the final island.
Because think about it, the entirety of the Void history, like, the entire point of wiping out that part of history was to make it so that no one could access the secret weapons. Or, like, the devastating weapons, right? So, and then
I feel like there's something more to the reason why, because it's like, somehow the world government just, like, appeared after, like, the whole thing happened, after how many years.
What do you think it would be, like, if there was a third type of poneglyph, what do you think the purpose of it would be? Because we know it couldn't be about either the weapons or the One Piece, because that's what the other two are for.
Just like the actual history,
But that's what I'm saying. The history that's missing is the only reason it's missing is because it was about the weapons. That's the only reason they got rid of it.
Well, there's also there was a lot. I thought there was more to the history than just they got rid of it because of the weapons. I thought that it was something to do with, like, how, like, the world government came about, just, like, a lot of other stuff for some reason.
Well, according to the world government, they're just there to protect everybody.
Yeah, but that's just according to the world government. I mean, you see how, like, the people that started the world government and, like, are now being held as, like, the most important people in the world, the celestial dragons or whatever, how terrible they treat people, and, like, they grew up believing that they had this. There's gotta be something special, different about this world government, like, something not right,
Yeah, I guess. There's been a lot of foreshadowing with the moon in One Piece, and a lot of different theories, like a lot of theories about the moon.
Yeah, because of Anaru.
Yeah, well, yeah. What do you think is gonna happen with the moon? You have any thoughts?
Well, I don't think Luffy's ever gonna go to the moon, but...
I wouldn't put it past him. He loves adventure.
Yeah.
And if they had to... Like, say Raftel was on the moon, then they would have to go. Like, I don't see that happening, but...
I don't see how that could happen.
Or, like, imagine if maybe Raftel wasn't on the moon, but the One Piece was. Like, that'd be a damn good hiding spot. It would explain why nobody had ever found it before. Although I feel like if it was, then Enoru would have found it by now. But
yeah.
But still, you get what I'm saying, though, right?
But Enoru didn't really. Did Enoru actually, like, know about? I mean, he didn't even know about Rubber. He lived up in the Sky Islands the whole time. He doesn't really necessarily know about the
One Piece.
One Piece. So he might not even
what
know
if he
that
has the One Piece and he doesn't even realize it? He's just like part of his jewelry. It's like around his neck or something and he doesn't even know. I don't know. The theories that I like the best about the moon that I've heard are, one of them was that, the Minks were talking about how they have a trump card, right?
Yeah.
In this last chapter. And, so one theory I had heard was that maybe it has their trump card has something to do with the full moon. Which I could see that being a cool thing. That like that's how they fight Jack. Is whenever he invades next, it'll be on the full moon, and they're like power up somehow because they're like animals, but maybe like based on like werewolves and stuff.
Yeah.
So that I like the idea of, and then the other thing I like the idea of was that the celestial dragons are actually originally like a civilization from the moon, because the moon in One Piece is like different than the normal moons. Like
Wait, you said the Celestial Dragons were a race from the moon. Weren't they made up of like the original kings of all those different countries?
yes,
So the original kings originally came from the moon?
well, what I was thinking, what the like the idea is that that's the reason they see themselves as being better is because they like traveled through space. And that's like why they look down on everybody else, because they see them as being like lesser beings.
And why they have the helmet.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That's why they wear helmets. But see, now today they say, oh well, the reason we have helmets is so we don't have to breathe the same air as commoners. But maybe like it started out as because they were from space, which I could see that being a thing too. And also there's that whole thing with like the completely devastated ancient civilizations, which maybe that has something to do with the celestial dragons too. I haven't heard any theories relating them to the moon, but like in Skypiea, how there were ancient civilizations that they had no backstory on that we saw.
Yeah.
I figure that has more to do with the Void Century, though.
Uh-huh. So, do you think there's like anything, what is there anything else really to talk about this week?
Not much. The next episode of One Piece is going to be delayed, but I don't know when this episode, of the anime, is going to be delayed, but I don't know when the podcast is going to go up, so that might have already happened.
Okay.
Let me see if there's any more news on Film Gold. Because I didn't remember to look that up before the podcast started. It never dawned on me just how, important Robin was. Until the chapter where, not this last chapter, but the one before it.
Like when they just said that, about reading it?
Well, whenever, I think it was Nekomamushi, or it was either Nekomamushi or Nurarashi, they said, basically, Robin, you better look out, there's gonna be people coming after you, because you know how to read, the poneglyphs.
Yeah.
And he said, well, there are these people that have been collecting the fish prints of the road poneglyphs, because they know that they're important, but they have no idea of how to read them, and they never even hoped to be able to. And, whenever he said that, I'm like, it just dawned on me, wow, she is really the only person in the entire world that can read these things. And it just was to me, it was like a revelation moment, wow, that, her bounty should be way higher. You'd think the world government would want to, fix that problem pretty quick. Considering the lengths they went to erase them from history. But then her bounty's only what is it now, 90 million? It went up at some point. It used to be 88 million.
Yeah, I think it's 90 million. That sounds
it's around there. It went up very slightly. Film Gold, there was a trailer release, that's right. There was a line art trailer.
There was?
Yeah, I think I linked it to you. At some point. Maybe I didn't. Let me look. Oh no, I didn't. Did I not link it? I thought I linked it somewhere. Maybe I linked it in the anime discussion chat. I guess I totally forgot. Well, I'll put a link to it in the description. Here, I'll link it to you real quick. Here we go. Yeah, I'll put a link to this in the description of the video. There we go. There you go. Alright, well, I guess that's everything for this week, and I guess we'll see you guys in the next one. Wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but I think we made some pretty good points.
Yeah.
Relatively interesting, and yeah. I'll see you.